It seems like spoilers are endless, but only a few days left. Invasion of Bokugan is one of anything and 1 white for a 3 counter siege battle. When it enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more to cast. First off, very cool seeing where Teo is from, always love that. Second, this front face is actually just fine. It's suitably costed for what it does, and it essentially delays a problem for you until you have time to flip the invasion. You also get to see your opponent's hand on a white card that's not super common. When you defeat this battle, it becomes an enchantment called Light Shield Array. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that attacked this turn. You can also sacrifice the array, and creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. I think I can finally say this. This battle is 100% awesome and playable in a lot of places. The front face supports your creature deck in that it helps delay removal or a blocker long enough for you to deal 3 damage to it, then flipping it to an absurd enchantment that gives repeated value to your attackers and protects you from the board wipe you delayed. Invasion of Bokugan's really strong, and this set would be terrifying if more battles were this efficient. Hot dang. Rona, Herald of Invasion, is one of anything in 1 blue for a 1/3 legendary creature human wizard. Whenever you cast a legendary spell on tap Rona, oh that's interesting, you can tap to draw a card, then discard a card, and oh dear, you can also pay 5 of anything in 1 black Phyrexian mana to transform Rona, activate only as a sorcery. Front face alone, I'm already interested. At worst, she's Merfolk Looter, and I love that card. She transforms into Rona Tellurian Obliterator, a 5/5 legendary creature Phyrexian wizard with trample. Whenever a source deals damage to Rona, that source's controller exiles a card from their hand at random. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield under your control. Otherwise, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Pestilence, combos with Pestilence, everyone go get your Pestilence. You can Pestilence Rona and play whatever the heck you want. Dimir legendary giant spells incoming. Villas, Broker of Blood, Ugin, Kozilek, Blightsteel Colossus, Ulamog, Rise of the Dark Realms, other Ulamog, Omniscience. A Rona legendary Pestilence deck sounds so friggin' fun I can't even handle it, and Pestilence isn't the only card that does what you need. Plague Spitter, Crypt Rat, Psychotic Haze, Infected Vermin. I'm building this deck in the middle of a spoiler video. This is actually very unprofessional. I'll have to pick this up later. Moving on. What follows is the tale of Mudcreep and why you shouldn't eat random stuff you see lying around. Blight Reaper Thallid is 2 mana for a 2/2 fungus. You can pay 3 of anything and 1 Phyrexian green mana to transform it only as a sorcery. Quote, Mudcreep loved the taste of the funny oil that leaked from the wrecked machines in Urborg. I mean, I get it, you're a fungus, but still have some standards. It transforms into Blightsower Thallid, a 3/3 Phyrexian fungus. When this creature transforms into Blightsower Thallid or dies, create a 1/1 green Phyrexian sapperling creature token. Quote, then one day, Mudcreep started to feel funny itself. Oh, Mudcreep, you deserved better. I'm sorry you just had to eat the oil leaking from the machines because there's totally nothing else to eat in a swamp as a fungus. I'm just frustrated. In many ways, Mudcreep was the best of us. Just oh dear. Collective Nightmare is 2 of anything in 1 black for an instant with Convoke. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. I've got a few things to say about this. First, that art is straight up fire. Probably one of the coolest I've seen in the set so far. Ravina, you are celestial with your talent. Wow. Second, this is a limited bomb. First pickable black removal, that uncommon. Fantastic card, basically made to dominate the limited format. I would say that it has legs in standard, but it's coming into a standard with a truly unreal amount of great black removal, so I'm not sure it can fit in as well as it might if the format didn't already have cut down. Regardless, a beautiful card that will be taken in draft immediately over many rares. Invasion of Eldraine is 3 of anything in 1 black for a 4 counter siege battle. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent discards 2 cards. So it's a 4 mana Mind Rot. Alright, it transforms into Prickle Fairies, a 2/2 fairy with flying. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 2 or fewer cards in hand, the fairies deals 2 damage to them. Very cute, very Eldraine. I'm not sure this has the power in limited, as 3 mana discard 2 is already borderline playable. The back face is honestly not bad, punishing your opponents for getting to eventual top deck mode, though it's tough to justify the inclusion, but it's a cool card nonetheless. Kenra's Spellspear is 1 of anything in 1 red for a 2/2 Jackal Warrior with Trample and Prowess. You can pay 3 of anything in 1 Phyrexian blue mana to transform it only as a sorcery. It becomes Gitaxian Spellstalker, a 3/3 Phyrexian Jackal with Trample, Ward 2, Prowess, and Prowess. What? Okay, I don't want anyone to misunderstand, so listen up. Kenra's Spellspear into Gitaxian Spellstalker is one of the most powerful cards in the entire set for limited. It equals the power of most rares and mythics. Front face already pushed as a 2/2 for 2 with Trample trample and prowess. That's already a rare power level card right there. Then you transform it on turn 3 into a 3/3 that still has trample, gets protection so you don't have to worry about it getting removed efficiently after you invest mana into it, especially early game, and it has double prowess. Do you have any idea how strong double prowess is, especially with trample attached? I have no idea how this is an uncommon. I know for a fact this is upper rare level quality at the absolute least. I will die on this hill. This is a top tier rare or mythic power level unlimited. Quote me if you want to, I stand by it. It's beyond absurd. You don't even have to be an is it because the cost is Phyrexian mana. Okay, I'm sorry, just this card doesn't make sense at all. We need to move on, but this card's insane. Nahiri's Warcraft is one of anything in 2 red for a sorcery. It deals 5 damage to target creature, planeswalker, or battle. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the excess damage dealt this way. You may exile one of those cards, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may play the exiled card until end of turn. I really wish the last sentence of that card said you could play it until the end of your next turn, darn. I've gone back and forth on this card a few times because I adore excess damage cards. Burn Trample is so cool, and using it in this way, card filtering and pseudo card advantage, I'm in. This is a sweet design. Just the combination of sorcery, speed, double red, and you have to play the card in the same turn you cast this 3 mana sorcery is a tough series of obstacles to overcome to justify the card's inclusion over a more straightforward burn spell that has casting flexibility. Red decks don't want to play burn sorceries. They do when they have to, but they really don't want to have to. Rampaging Raptor is 2 of anything and 2 red for a 4/4 dinosaur with trample and haste. You can pay 3 mana and it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Whenever it deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls or battle that player protects. I'm getting heavy Questing Beast vibes from this. It definitely isn't Questing Beast, but I mean, it might just have enough abilities to be good enough for standard play at the top of a curve, or in the middle of a big red creature package. Trample is like pseudo unblockable for tiny creatures like Questing Beast, and haste means you're going in fast and possibly annihilating a planeswalker out of nowhere that your opponent just tapped out to play. You could try coordinating battles with this, but honestly the value of the card is in its explosiveness out of the gate. You don't need battles for it to be good. Downing walkers is good enough. This is a chunky dinosaur right here. Invasion of Klem is 2 of anything, 1 red and 1 white for a 5 counter siege battle. When it enters the battlefield, up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+0 and gain vigilance and haste until end of turn. The most important thing about the front face of this battle is it's one of the only ones that actually helps defeat itself on entry to the battlefield. Klem is going to give 2 creatures a nice power boost, vigilance so they don't have to lose out on blocking, and haste just in case you had a creature enter the battlefield this turn. Really, haste is just gravy here. When you defeat this battle immediately, it transforms into a sorcery called Valor's Reach Tag Team. Create 2/3/2 red and white warrior creature tokens with, whenever this creature and at least 1 other creature token attack, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. What a limited bomb this is. And yes, I know some of you are going to be upset about pumping 5 damage into this instead of going at your opponent's face, but next turn you untap with 2 3/2s that become 4 3s. That's called an investment for the future. Plus, I mean, come on, who doesn't miss Battle Bond? Specifically, who doesn't miss Bloodborne Scoundrels? That's right, we recognize you, you scamps. Jeru and Hazaret is 2 of anything, 2 red and 1 white for a 5/4 legendary creature, Human God. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, DNH has vigilance and haste. Whenever DNH attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may exile a legendary creature card from among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Until end of turn, you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Well, hello there, this is quite good. Heckbent was always a fun mechanic back in Amonkhet, and I'm happy to see it here. That trigger is powerful. You can get anything. You can even get Emrakul with that. You cast it without paying its mana cost after all. Low-key, one of the most fun team-ups for sure, and in Boros. I really enjoy what the set is doing for the Boros color combination, giving it diversity and flexibility in ways it doesn't get often. Also, I'll take a moment to make the obligatory Dahada Binder of Wills mention. Almost couldn't be more perfect for that deck. It's so good. It is so strong. Kroxa and Kunoros is 3 of anything, 1 red, 1 white, and 1 black for a 6/6 legendary creature Elder Giant Dog with Vigilance, Menace, and Lifelink. Already I'm in love. When K&K enters the battlefield or attacks, you may exile 5 cards from your graveyard. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This might be one of the hungriest cards I've ever seen in my entire life. Both on entry to the battlefield and on attack, you can exile 5 cards from the yard. Original Kroxa was a hungry giant, of course, but this one, wow, you basically have to build around this card or include it in a self-mill deck that self-mills aggressively. I'm talking Faithless Looting, Thrill of Possibility, Cathartic Reunion, all the rummaging friends, and while this Elder Giant Dog is an absolute house as a 6/6 with 3 relevant combat keywords, It's lacking green and blue, which are both so strong at self-milling, which means making the self-mill commander would be a challenge, a real challenge. If this is a deck you'd like me to build, let me know in the comments, otherwise I just won't build it because it's going to be really, really difficult. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for more March of the Machine spoilers!